Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda N and today we're going to talk a little bit about pseudo-historians and pseudo-architecture. I've always kind of been fascinated by pseudoscience. I've mentioned it a few times on this channel, and only recently I discovered another branch of this that actually has some pretty disturbing roots in racism. And what I mean by this is basically, pseudo-historians will say that aliens created the Ottoman Empire, or aliens created this advanced civilization in Africa because their racist beliefs tell them that, hey, black people, or people of color, or basically anyone that's not white, can't have been intelligent enough to do such a thing. I thought that this was both an interesting and really frustrating branch of pseudoscience. So, without any further ado, let's dive right in and see what it's about. One of the biggest examples of this pseudo-architecture, pseudo-historians, is Great Zimbabwe. According to National Geographic, the archaeological site at Great Zimbabwe consists of several sections. The first of these is the Hill Complex. This is a series of structure ruins that sit atop the steepest hill of the site. This is generally believed to have been the religious center of the site. The hill complex is the oldest part of Great Zimbabwe and shows signs of construction that date to around 900 CE. The ruins of the second section, the Great Enclosure, are perhaps the most exciting. The Great Enclosure is a walled, circular area below the hill complex dating to around the 14th century. The walls are over 9.7 meters or 32 feet high in places, and the enclosure's circumference is 250 meters or 820 feet. The walls were built without mortar, relying on carefully shaped rocks to hold the wall's shape on their own. Inside the enclosure is a second set of walls, following the same curve as the outside walls, which end in a tower 10 meters or 33 feet high. Although the function of this enclosure is unknown, archaeologists suggest it could have been a royal residence or a symbolic grain storage facility, something of that nature. It is one of the largest existing structures from ancient sub-Saharan Africa. The third section is the Valley Ruins. The Valley Ruins consist of a significant number of houses made of mud brick daga near the Great Enclosure. The distribution and number of houses suggest that the Great Zimbabwe boasted a large population, somewhere between 10,000 to 20,000 people. Yet, because this city is so incredible, vast, and detailed, European colonists believed that it was just too sophisticated to have been built by Africans. As a result, they did a great deal of damage, looting the city. According to the Washington Post, when white people were known to have first visited this area in southern Africa in the 16th century, they began espousing a ton of theories. One Portuguese explorer wrote that the ruins must have been from the land of Ophir, or a biblical site reputed to be the source of King Solomon's gold. Later, historians and archaeologists speculated that the queens of Sheba, Phoenicians, I might be saying that wrong, or even the legendary Christian kingdom of Prester John had some kind of hand in the great city of Zimbabwe. Basically, if the theory wasn't the Africans living here built it, they were more willing to believe it. Hell, carbon dating even proved them wrong in the 1950s. The ancestors of today's Shona, without a doubt, built these walls. But perhaps even more frustrating are the beliefs that aliens built these structures. Because, well, then it truly seems like grasping at straws just to not give black people the credit that's due for the incredibly detailed architecture they built. According to The Conversation, some of the most impressive buildings and cities ever made by humans can be found in Africa. The ruined city of Great Zimbabwe, Mapungubwe, I am so sorry if I'm saying that wrong, in South Africa, Kenya's Gedi Ruins, and Meroe in Sudan. Perhaps the most awe-inspiring of these are the last remaining of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. This should come as no surprise. Africa has an extensive archaeological record extending as far back as 3.3 million years ago, when the first ever stone tool was made in what is today's Kenya. The continent's cultural complexity and diversity is well established. It is home to the world's oldest known pieces of art, and of course, it's the birthplace of modern humans' ancient ancestors, Homo sapiens. Despite all this evidence, some people still refuse to believe that anyone from Africa, or anywhere in what is today considered the developing world, could possibly have created and constructed the Giza pyramids or other ancient masterpieces. Instead, they credit ancient astronauts, extraterrestrials, or time travelers as real builders. Well, you may ask, so what? Who cares if relatively few people don't actually believe the ancient Egyptians built the pyramids? What's the harm? Actually, there is great harm. Firstly, these people try to prove their theories by traveling the world and desecrating ancient artifacts. Secondly, they perpetuate and give air to the racist notion that only Europeans, white people, ever were and ever will be capable of such architectural feats. I've said on this channel a few times before that as long as a belief isn't harming someone, then I don't care too much if a person puts stock in it. Like, hey, while I don't think there is such a thing as the Bunny Man, if you want to tell a campfire story about him, or Bigfoot, or the Loch Ness Monster, far be it from me to stop you. But with the belief that aliens built pyramids, as silly as it may sound, I think this is an important pseudoscience myth to bust. After all, not only is it racist, but those that set out to prove these beliefs do great harm in doing so. The Conversation explains that in 2014, 2 German pseudoscientists set out to prove that academics were concealing the Giza pyramids' real origin, and in order to do so, they chiseled off a piece of one of the pyramids without authorization to analyze. This is no better than the Europeans and colonists looting these World Heritage sites centuries earlier. It's distressing to think that this only happened 7 years ago, and I'm sure there's those that continue to hold these beliefs today and continue to desecrate these monuments. Holding the beliefs is harmful enough as it continues a racist narrative, but acting on them is disgusting. Hell, as recently as 2017, scientists from the World Congress on Mummy Studies in South America published a post on their Facebook page to draw attention to the raiding of Nazca graves for a pseudoscientific research program called the Alien Project. They insist that aliens, rather than ancient Peruvians, were responsible for the famous geoglyphs called the Nazca Lines, despite all evidence to the contrary. I don't think I have to explain how misinformation on Facebook spreads like wildfire, and I'd like to believe that even maybe people on Facebook wouldn't fall for this, but clearly there are some that do insist aliens, as opposed to black people, are capable of creating land and rock art. This isn't unique to these locations, of course, as we mentioned earlier. Another common place where these racist theories thrive are Easter Island as well. Archaeologists know who built the Moai statues, the people who live there, not Martians or aliens. Real, genuine history and cultural traditions of ancient civilizations shouldn't be overshadowed by this sensationalism. It seems like every detailed marvel that wasn't made by white people is explained away by white people as aliens. And please know that while it shouldn't matter my race, I am a white person. Though these harmful stereotypes may not be targeting my own race, these stereotypes negatively affect us all and perpetuate racism. One archaeologist at Fodor's, I believe, sums up this situation nicely and states, "I'm a magnet for crackpot theories about ancient people. I get it. These ideas probe the mysteries of our universe. Aliens may very well exist, and it's true that we don't know everything about the past, but mountains of rigorous, objective, scientific evidence proves without a doubt that the world's ancient places were created by the people who once lived there, regardless of skin color or how civilized they seemed to early European explorers. There's only one actual mystery here: why racist and colonial theorists about ancient and modern people are still so pervasive in the 21st century. From Great Zimbabwe in Africa to Mexico's Teotihuacan, there are the most ridiculous pseudo-archaeological theories about the past debunked." On that note, that is where I'm going to end today's video. I know that this may have come across as a bit of a rant and a bit outside of my usual content. However, considering that I talk about aliens and pseudoscience on this channel, I wanted to make it really clear to my viewers one of the reasons why I'm passionate about debunking the whole aliens made this, and where pseudoscience can, in this case, be harmful. So thank you so much for watching and sticking through this video with me. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!